Hey everybody. I was just thinking, since I never talk in the videos, it'd be kind of cool to give you a little commentary of what's exactly happening in the video. So, anyways, as you can see from the screen here, I have these huge flower beds, big flower beds in the front. And this one in particular, I've never planted anything in here other than whatever seeds or weeds have come up wild inside of it. So as you can tell, the ground is pretty hard, and so I'm just trying to kind of work through that to loosen the upper side or the upper part of the soil before I amend it with what I need to do. But the idea here is that to plant it up with something pretty, I've already planted a couple of boxwoods in the front part of the planter there that face the street, but this is the side of the house, and it's an interesting area here because at some points in the year it doesn't get any sun, and then like now in the summertime it gets partial sun, a little bit of sun. So it's very interesting. You can't really plant anything that's full shade here because it eventually burn, and you can't plant anything that's full sun here, so that's always been interesting too. So what to plant in here. So anyways, I went on the Proven Winners website and I researched some plants that I thought would be great for this area. And yeah, that's what my plan is to plant in here. Also, there's drip irrigation in here that I'm kind of working around, as you can tell right now, because I'm going to use that after I get the soil all taken care of. So yeah, just working the soil really quickly and making sure that it's nice and even so that I have an even place to plant everything. Now, once I get everything all situated here, then I'm going to bring the plants out. But yeah, this ground, like I said before, it's nothing but weeds. It grew weeds really well here. I think a couple birds dropped some nasturtiums in here a couple times, but yeah, that was interesting, and those have grown really well. But never, I mean, we've been in here a long time now, so 14 years or so. Yeah, 14 years, I think. Yep, never come to plant anything. I've always had ideas of what I wanted to plant here, but I've never really done that. So anyways, I thought it'd be kind of cool to get, and I bought a couple of months ago and kind of just kept it on the front porch, camellia, because when I was growing up, I had camellias in the backyard. My mom had camellias back there, and they seem to do really well in a very similar situation on the north side, facing the north side of the house. Our house was kind of like on a diagonal street growing up, so they kind of were in the sun and they weren't in the sun, but they did pretty well. So that's what I was thinking I'd plant there in the middle. So that's a camellia there, and now I'm planting, or I'm placing all of my pots where I want to plant them. Now these plants are interesting because they are, some of them are perennials and the other ones are annuals. I'll talk about that in a second. But what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that the ground is nice and soft there, and I'm putting some plant tone fertilizer. It's kind of like a good starter fertilizer. You can do biotone, but I can never find it around here. So plant tone, they carry it at Lowe's, is great, and I use that for all my plants, and they do extremely well. Best fertilizer I've ever found. It's kind of pungent and it smells a little bit, but it's not like manure or anything. But you can tell that it's good quality, so I use that all the time, and that's what I keep putting in here. I had to add a little more dirt in there before I plant that camellia right there. So that's my centerpiece there. And then these are some really cool wild berry heucheras, or eucheras, whichever way you want to pronounce those. And those are perennials, and they're beautiful because they have purple leaves that stay purple, and I'm hoping they last a long time. Now, the ones that I'm putting in the front there are these Proven Winners Surefire Rose Begonias that are listed as an annual, but I think here they might over winter because we don't really get too cold. So I ordered these along with the euchras there from Proven Winners on their website before spring. They were shipped on Easter Day, which is crazy, but they're little tiny starts. Look how small they are there. They're so small, but I'm using that plant tone and I'm using my auger to dig that hole and kind of work around that pipe there that you see. But yeah, my idea here is both of these plants, so the eucharis in the back, the purple, which now that I'm thinking about it, I should have reversed it. I should have had the Surefire begonias in the back and the purple leaf eucharis in the front because they're shorter. But that's okay. That's just a learning thing, and they're going to be just fine, just the way they are. But I should have put them that way because they are shorter. But anyways, lesson learned. They still look great after months of growing. So I'm planting the second one on the other side of that camellia there. And then I'll finish, and that's the tag there for the Dulce Wildberry heuchera from Proven Winners. Pretty leaves, just beautiful. And they have a small little tiny bell-like bloom. People don't really grow them for their blooms. They grow them for their leaves, which I can understand. But their blooms are beautiful too. They're very small, and they attract hummingbirds. So anyways, I'm finishing up with the begonias there all the way across, and then I'll take it around the front. You're not going to see that on the screen. I'll take that around the front towards the street side to kind of create some balance. But the reason why I chose all of these plants, what I was trying to say earlier, is that they can handle shade or sun. So in this very unique situation, they can hopefully do really well, and they have, and you'll see that in a second. So shade or sun. So my idea is the times of the year where there's no sun on that side, they're going to be fine. And the time of the year, like now, where they do get, quite a bit of sun, maybe 5 hours of sun, and it's split sun. So it's in the morning sun and the afternoon, the way the sun sets. They are totally fine with whatever. So they're doing great. So what I'm doing now is I'm stringing along my little drip line that waters my plants in the front planter. And I'm putting a gallon emitter right at the base of the plant. And then I'm tacking them down with some landscaper's tacks there that I bought at Ace of all places. So I'm wrapping that around, placing them, putting that emitter. That's what I'm figuring out right now on there. I'm placing that right inside, and then I'm going to tack it down with a little landscape tack. It's like a little metal tack. And to speed things up, I just kind of went around as a circle, and every time I came to a plant, I put a little emitter there by it. And so I'm tacking that around, and I run that in the front. And then at the very end, you're going to see I'm going to tack the rest of the pipeline there down to the bottom and then back into itself. So there's really no end. And then I am going to finish the drip by running the drip irrigation up to the pots that I have there. And those are impatiens, new impatiens that I planted. And you'll see me do that in just a second. All right, now that is after about 3 months of growth. And you can tell that those begonias have just gone crazy, and they're tall, and I think they're going to even get taller. They kind of like shadow the heucheras in the back there, so I probably should have reversed that like I said, but I'll do that next time. And yeah, that continues around the front. And you can see my weeds are growing in there again. Grows great in there. And now these I fertilize once a week with a water-soluble fertilizer. You don't have to do that much, but I do because it's summertime. And so to clean everything up after the growth period, and they're not done yet, you can see how I have those other begonias planted in the front part of that planter. I have some boxwoods there that I'm trimming up to give it a little bit of structure in the middle of all the blooms that are going on that are not structured. So taking care of that really quick, and then I'm going to weed out the side there to really tidy it up nicely, and that will really finish things off. I have my trash can planted where you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm weeding out all of those very healthy weeds. So anyways, this is what it looks like afterwards. I've never had anything in this flower bed ever, so this is amazing. I do have some bulbs once a year that come up, but other than that, it's never ever looked like this. So I think I have found the correct plants for the correct spot. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, And we will see you again next time. Thanks for watching.